I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. Being involved in sports at a young age promotes physical fitness, self-control, and determination. And the NFL, along with universities throughout the country, are reaching inner-city youth through the game. The Youth Impact Program welcomed 10 to 14-year-olds to Michigan Stadium, merging football with math, science, and life skills.
They're learning academics in the first half of the day, and then they're learning football and different football skills in the second half of the day. It's combining these, and it's also under the element of discipline. So it's really preparing them for football, for academics.
It has so many elements to it. It's not just football, not just rolling out a ball, and it's not great football instruction, how to throw the ball, how to catch the ball. These are life-changing types of experiences. In the morning, for the entire morning, it's strictly academics. Reading, writing, math, science.
The program utilizes public school teachers, the Marines, and NCAA and NFL coaches.
They're transferring their skills from the football field to the classroom, and it's really helping them because they know that they have to stay focused.
Basically, the Marines here are to make sure that the kids are following the instructions. We get them from point A to point B, and we try to do that as quickly as possible while also instilling discipline.
It has to do with how you live your life. You know, waking up in the morning with that enthusiasm unknown to mankind. I'm going to make this day better than yesterday, and I'm going to make tomorrow better today. And it isn't just athletics or football, and it's life. I want to be better at life.
Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly with more news and information. We all have memories of skating as a kid, but once we get older, most of us stop. One local group of women is bringing this pastime back with a ton of fierceness. The Ann Arbor Derby Dimes laced up for their rival bout against the Detroit Derby Girls.
It is a very mental sport because it involves a skill that you don't naturally have. People don't naturally know how to roller skate. So if you can fall a whole bunch and just keep getting back up, that's really all that you need to be good at roller derby.
The sport requires the ability to play both defense and offense simultaneously.
It's like hockey, except that a person is the puck, and so the person who is the jammer, their job is to score all the points. And it's the blocker's role to make that person not score points.
The offense comes in where we might send one or two people to go try to clear a hole for our jammer to get out.
The goal is to get as many points as you can in one jam, and a jam is a maximum of 2 minutes. Once you learn one skill, there's always going to be more skills. So you're never going to be the best, you're never going to know everything because there's always something to learn.
The roller derby is always on the lookout for new blood.
Ann Arbor Roller Derby hosts boot camps once a year in the fall. We're actually recruiting for our next boot camp. It's an 18-week program where we teach you from the beginning to the end. So you don't have to know how to roller skate. You don't even have to own roller skates. You don't have to know how to do anything. You just got to show up.
For more info or to inquire about boot camp, visit a2derbydimes.org. The Ann Arbor Farmers Market is in full bloom. Learn all the tips for shopping locally from a market insider in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Willett. I'm the Ann Arbor Farmers Market Manager. We are here right now at the Carytown District neighborhood at the Ann Arbor Farmers Market. Ann Arbor Market has been around since 1919 and is over 98 years old. So I really encourage you to come out and visit us this summer. We are open year-round, Saturdays and Wednesdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Right now we have so much local produce that's fresh, local, and all of our vendors grow their own products. You can find vegetables here, but you can also find artisans, you can find bread, meat, cheese, crafts. Stop in our office and you can swipe your credit card to receive market bucks and market money to spend. Also, if you have an EBT or bridge card, we can give you market money to spend here with that, plus double your bucks for free with our Double Up Food Buck program. Come take a look. We have corn, heirloom tomatoes, things you won't be able to find in the store right now. It's so fresh. Visit us at a2gov.org/market.
Over the years, you may have noticed more and more art popping up around public places in Ann Arbor. Coming soon, even our manhole covers are going to get the aesthetic treatment. The city and the Ann Arbor Art Center teamed up for a design contest where original artworks were selected to be cast ironed into manhole covers on streets near you. Joining me is one of the 3 winning artists, Taylor Mentzer. Welcome to the show, Taylor.
Hi.
So, can you tell me a little bit about the contest and why you wanted to submit to this contest?
Well, the contest, they put out the call for submissions in December, and I was ending my semester of my last year of school, and I added that to my final production of the things that I needed for school that semester. So I just kind of piled it on. I used some of the resources that I had with me in designing for architecture, and I just put together the design because I felt like it could fit into my schedule and it sounded really neat and interesting, and I wanted to see what I could do to produce that.
Well, you mentioned architecture, which is your background. Can you kind of explain how those 2 things work together, creating this piece and architecture to create this winning design?
Yeah, it helped me visualize what things needed to be cut and what things are embossed on the manhole cover. So it definitely helped me understand more about what needed to pop in the design and what things could be accomplished.
So before the show, we were talking about the arts and what kind of would attract you to doing more of an artistic flair sort of design as opposed to what your actual background is. But you said the arts run in your family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my grandpa was an artist and an architect, and so that was sort of part of my background, and it helped me throughout the years to hone my skills and be more developed as an artist and architect.
It's interesting that you're almost taking the same path as your grandfather.
Mm-hmm. He's proud.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
should be. That's a nice tribute in a way. Well, can you talk about how it was different to design for cast iron? Because you have to be thinking about it differently when you're designing something.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to go through multiple versions, or?
I went through 2 versions. The first version had way too many levels to it, and so I had to combine the levels to make it pop. Like I've made stamps before, carving into rubber to make stamps, and it's the same process of what you want to be as ink and what you want to be as white space. So it's the same way of thinking, and so I just had to sort of dial it back and make another revision to it, and that's the final piece.
Did you hand draw it, or were you doing it on the computer?
I hand drew the first conceptualized ideas I had, but then I did it all in computer.
Well, it makes more sense when you have to have that major contrast for the design. Why don't you tell us about finding out that you won and how it felt?
It was a shock for sure, because I didn't know that they had that many submissions. And then, the first thing I heard was we had to do the voting on the 6 finalists, and that was amazing in itself. And then to find out that I won as one of the top 3 was really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now what happens? What's next? Do you know?
They sent me the contract that I had to sign over my rights for the artwork, and I just sent that back last week. So,
and then it's just the process of them sending it to the facility where they're being cast ironed. And will we see all 3 of the designs at the same time, or will it be like one at a time? Do you know?
They do one at a time. They do the first choice design, which I was the second. So they do the first one for 2 years, 1 to 2 years, replacing about 150 manhole covers, I think. And then in the second round, they'll produce my design for the next 2 years, and then the third design.
So this will be like, we'll be seeing these manhole covers for about 6 years. I'm like, why get rid of them? So like if you're making them, you might as well keep them around town, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about your design, because we haven't even talked about that.
I designed a kayaker on the Huron River looking towards the city, where you can see the train overpass right there by Argo Park. And it's one of my favorite places in Ann Arbor. I like to walk along the trail, and so I wanted to do a design that featured the nature and the parks of Ann Arbor.
Like I said, I voted, and you were actually my #1 vote, because I felt like your design was just so different. Like the subject matter was so different from everyone else's. And a lot of times when there is like a public art contest, you see a lot of like just trees. And I mean, you have that whole nature aspect, but it is like such a special thing that Ann Arbor has is, you know, the canoe liveries and being able to kayak on the river. And I think that like that probably resonated with a lot of people too when they were looking at your design. So if you could do something like this again, would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have a great future ahead of you. You're leaving soon, so you're going to have to come back and visit Ann Arbor in the next couple years to see your manhole covers, take a picture with it. And best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/watchctn. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.